So the primetime soap opera with dragons. House of the Dragon continues with We Light the Way. Oh boy, that almost sounds honorable and divine, but I don't see that it is. I think the last one I was talking about, who are the good guys in this story, and the king seems to want to be, at least, but he's just as corrupted by everything else as well. I mean, most notably when his brother was saying, hey, why don't you marry your daughter to me? And his response, other than this absolute disgust, is yeah, but you're already married. It's like, good God. Then there's Sir Kristen, Rhaenyra's bodyguard and now boy toy, and all of that. But, he takes a turn for the worst in this one. So, right off the bat, Doctor Who, forget about any hope for him having any, redemption or whatever. Because I think genuinely the one last chance that there was where he was sort of pleading his case to his brother in the first episode and whatnot, and that he genuinely wants his brother's love. Not that way, but so now he's all feeling rejected and spiteful. It's not just his desire for the crown, which he does have, obviously, but that's that. Obviously the creepiness of his incestuous lust for his niece and vice versa. All of that sort of stuff drags him down. But now, where he was denied Rhaenyra by his brother, he's still married to his wife, so he takes care of that. She meets with a little accident. He was holding a rock, and her paralyzed body, after he made her horse knock her to the ground, couldn't get out of the way of him smashing it into her face. So her face smashed into the rock in his hand, and oh my goodness, she's dead. So that's terrible. Oh no. Well, accidents happen. Meanwhile, the King Viserys has found a prince, or what have you, to marry his daughter, and that's Lord Valerian's son, Sea Snake's son. And so we go to meet him, and they bring him together and to set up the wedding and all that. Oh well, there's a little hitch in this. Turns out, Sir, the kid's named Sir Lenore. He's gay, yeah, and I mean, his parents are aware of this. His father says, "Oh, he'll grow out of it. Come on, Rhaenyra will win him over." But most people seem to be unaware of this, whereas Rhaenyra just knows it immediately, and so they have a little chit chat as they're getting to know each other before the big day. That's arranged marriages for you. And she says, hey, look, I don't really have a problem with you and your boyfriend as long as you don't have a problem with me and mine. And so he's like, all right, deal. So there they go, and he makes out with his boyfriend, and everything seems to work out just fine until they get to the wedding. Yeah. Well, first, Sir Kristen, as I said, is probably the only decent and honorable guy. He's in love with Rhaenyra after what happened. Little does he know that she only did that because she was all horned up by her uncle. So she's like, I need a man, you'll do. But she likes him, she's like, yeah, let's keep that going. And but then he says, like, I violated my oaths and all this stuff, and what I did was terrible. And she's like, I don't care, I'm good with it. And he's like, so let's run away together and get properly married, and we'll live a life traveling the uncharted lands or some crap like that, And she's like, no. Because she doesn't want to give up the power and everything. It's like, I'm going to be queen and all this stuff. And he says, don't worry about it. I'll keep you around. We're going to have a lot of fun. And he's all disgusted because, in truth, he's very serious about his oaths and his sense of honor and whatnot. And he's like, oh, God, she's just a little slut. And it sort of breaks his heart, too, He still doesn't know the real reason she jumped his bonds. If he knew that, that would probably push this even further, but he doesn't know anything about that with her uncle. So meanwhile, poor little Queen Alicent is learning the game and learning how to play it because Daddy, before he's sent off into exile, I guess, warns her about all this. And what strikes at her heart is that her children would be in danger, that Rhaenyra would Rhaenyra would never turn against me. Yes, she would. And your little boy is in her way, and the realm won't accept a queen. They'll want her taken away so that her son could be the king. And so in order for that to be eliminated, Rhaenyra would be forced to kill her little half-brother there, So she's got to work at this. So she is wondering, and she doesn't want to believe that this business between Rhaenyra and her uncle happened, so she questions Sir Criston about it. But Sir Criston thinks she's talking about his banging her, So he breaks down and confesses to her. And she's like, oh, thank God, it's not her uncle. It's just her bodyguard. So who cares? He thinks he's going to be executed and everything. And she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I got your back. So the big day happens. We got the wedding. Ain't that cool? And even Uncle Damon shows up. Oh, boy. And then dances with Rhaenyra, and it's really creepy again, and she's daring him to snatch her away and bang her in the castle and marry her and all this sort of stuff. It's just really, really nasty, Meanwhile, the two gay lovers realize that Sir Criston is her boyfriend. And so Sir Laenor's boyfriend goes over to him and says, hey, man, everything's cool. You can be the queen's boyfriend, and I'll be the what do they call it? The King Courtesan boyfriend. And then Sir Criston's had enough. Apparently, he's not cool with some gay sex going on behind the scenes. And he loses it, and he kills the guy. Beats his face into the ground in the middle of the reception. The wedding hasn't happened just yet. They're celebrating the announcement and everything. And so Sir Laenor is like, whoa. Now there was the dance was going on. It was a big crowd, and even though people saw him do it, I don't know if Sir Laenor knows specifically. I don't know, but he's getting ready. After this, he runs out into the garden or whatever, and he's going to kill himself. And then Queen Alicent stops him, and seeing the scenes for next week's episode, he's still alive. So that she has the reach and the ability to protect him and keep him from being executed. I guess. I don't know. It's odd because I just like. You can imagine a lot of problems with Sir Laenor. This is the guy who murdered his true love, how that's going to work out. But then that's the kind of nastiness and the things you got to do for power, And that's what turns them all into the monsters they become, that and the incest, Yeah. So anyway, meanwhile, the king's very sick. He's coughing up blood and whatnot. But surprisingly, according to the teaser for next week, he's still there. Losing a lot of hair, but he's still there. And the actresses will be replaced. So Alicent and Rhaenyra, these actresses who played them in this episode, this is their final episode. as they're going to jump time again. And it would be ridiculous to say it was the same actresses playing them as they get older. So it's 2 new actresses coming in, which I'm fine for, because, boy, they tell you the girls playing the roles right now look really young, and it's very creepy, especially Rhaenyra and Doctor Who. So all for the best, I think. It's just probably might have been better to save certain scenes for next week, but it's too late. It's been done. But it does speak to the evil of corrupting children and this sort of thing. In it. So I take the point, but still, it's kind of hard to watch, So anyway, boy, oh boy, it's yes, very creepy and disturbing, but all very well performed and acted. And this is the type of stuff that goes on in the pursuit of power, the lengths one would go to achieve it. And at the same time, still, like I said, I think Daemon really was hurt by his brother's condemnation at the outset. Now all he cares about is getting the power. Does he even really want Rhaenyra? I don't think so. He wants that crown more than anything else. And this is getting less likely that he can achieve it now, as the king's hanging on because he knows all hell's going to break loose when he's gone. And now there's this mess where she almost sealed the deal here with her new husband, but now her boy toy murdered his boy toy. So any hopes that they could at least be friends and everything. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Oh, boy. So, moving right along with this show, and yet apparently it continues. It had a high mark, and apparently it's continuing to lose viewers and whatnot. It's still just for presentation and storytelling and all the stuff you need for narratives and whatnot. Mops the floor up with the Rings of Power. And at this point, that's no big deal anymore. It's going to always be haunted by the failure of Game of Thrones. And that's the main thing there. You just can't get away from that no matter how good this show is or becomes. All roads lead to that. And that's just going to leave a bad taste in it no matter how much... how much sugar you pour into it or whatever, it's just too bad. So anyway, there you go. For what it's worth, if you are interested in the series, it continues to be a good show, but the overall brand is severely damaged.